Hello everyone, Merry Christmas and welcome to the Keyless Works. Today we're going to be talking about a watch I've kind of been looking forward to for a while, and that is the Timex T80. So we're going to do a quick review of that today. And I guess before we get started, it's been customary, I know, for a lot of watch channels on YouTube to do a wristwatch check before you start. So today I'm wearing my Seiko SNK 809, considered by many to be the best intro-mechanical watch you can possibly buy. Considering in American dollars, it's usually under $100. It's a Seiko 5, so it's mechanical. I can't remember all of Seiko's 5 different elements that they have, but it's a mechanical watch. It's automatic. It's basically like the ultimate mechanical beater watch. It looks great. I have it on a green NATO strap, and it's a lot of fun. I take it camping with me. I've had it in the water, out of the water. I know it's not really a water resistant watch, but I've had it when I go fishing and all sorts of things like that. It's a lot of fun. But today we're going back to the 1980s, and we're talking about the Timex T80. So I don't want to take too long with the intro. So let's dive right into the Keyless Works and take a look at the Timex T80. So apologies in advance, I can't really use my webcam for doing reviews like this. So I use my phone for it. So if the sound quality is not as good, that's why. But let's dive right into the review. The Timex T80 comes in a nice like white clear box, very true to the period. The really cool part, and again, I kind of spoiled this. This isn't an unboxing. I've just put it back in the box so I can kind of review this. I've actually been wearing this watch for the last couple weeks, and I really do like it. So I got the gold edition because I found that was very true to the period. Ostentatious gold watches with hairy arms and polo shirts with blazers and gold chains, very true to the 1980s, which is really cool. So I really do like the shape of the case. It's really kind of campy and spaceshipy and clear. The case actually, when you open it, slides right off, and you get into the watch itself, which slides right out. So, I mean, there's nothing too extreme about this. It's your basic digital watch. So it's got the day, the date. You can see the day of the week right there and the date, as well as the time. You can set the time for 24-hour time, or you can set it for 12-hour time. It's got the T80 markings on it. It's got this kind of hashed pattern on it, which is really cool. I did really want to get the Pac-Man version of this watch, but it's very, very hard to find. Because it was so popular. I think it sold out in 15 minutes when Timex first listed it. It's really, really cool. The alarm tone on it even plays the Pac-Man theme. But the watch itself comes in this gold tone, so I don't know if it's PVD or if it's paint or anything like that. The bracelet is it's fairly light and thin. I don't really know how to adjust this type of bracelet. I imagine you can knock some links out of it, but it's got this kind of grabbing clasp that just folds over. Very easy to do. It's got the Timex logo on the clasp as well, which is really nice. Back of the watch is really nothing to write home about, but it tells you that it's stainless steel back. It tells you some other information about the watch. As you can see, it gives you 18mm lugs if you did want to replace this. This is actually a fairly small watch. It's very, very I guess similar in size to watches from that period. And on my wrist, which I have a fairly beefy wrist, as you can see from the video, the watch actually wears fairly well. I don't really need to adjust it. But yeah, it wears fairly well on the wrist. As it is a Timex, you do get the indigo feature, which is really, really nice. The one drawback I find of this, when I bought this watch, I assumed that the case body itself was actually metal. I think it's plastic. It's just a gold-colored plastic. A little disappointing, but the watch, was under $100 as well. I got it on sale on Black Friday for about $80 Canadian. And, it looks really good. But again, it would have been really nice if that was actually metallic as well. But you can't really ask too much for the price. But the watch, it wears fairly well. It's light. I don't really like these types of metallic bracelets. Like, as you can see, I'm not a very hairy guy, but I do have some hair around my wrist. And this thing will make sure you don't have any hair on your wrist when it's done. It is kind of pinchy on the wrist. Depending on whether or not it catches your hair. But again, I think it's very authentic to the period, which is what Timex was going for with this watch. But again, really light, really fun, really, really true to the period. I think it's the same kind of bracelet that they've put on the Q Timex as well. Again, a very popular item that they have that's sold out quite quickly. I think it's all back in stock now. But they've been really nailing it when it comes to these reissues from their archive. They've done it with the Falcon Eye, they've done it with the Q Timex, and now they're doing it with the T80 as well. There's a lot of, I think, market for this type of nostalgia these days, especially with millennials like myself. But it's a fun watch. I mean, if you want to go for that kind of 80s feel, you can throw this on with a blazer and a polo shirt, and just kind of really look the part of a 1980s junk bond trader. Again, a really fun watch. It's not huge, so the actual case width on this is about, I think, 34 millimeters. So it's, again, not a large watch. Thickness wise, I think it's about 10 millimeters. So again, it's not huge. And again, the lug width is about 18 millimeters if you wanted to replace the strap. So I'd actually be really interested to know how you can adjust this strap. I don't know. I've looked at some videos, but they mention it's a self-adjusting clasp. So I wonder if you can just knock out the pins and just slide this along the edge of along the strap itself, just to see how it would go. But it feels like it's in there fairly tightly. So yeah, if you want to let me know in the comments how to actually adjust this, it'd be pretty cool. Again, I don't have to adjust it for my wrist, but it is a fun little watch. The strap, I mean, I think they make the strap in China. It's a Chinese component, and again, it's very, very light. But I mean, I have my grandfather's watch, which was a Timex from around the same period, and it basically had the exact same kind of strap with it. So it's very authentic to the period. But yeah, fun. If you want to wear a 1980 style watch, I mean, this is the way to go. I think it's on the Canadian website for like $89 right now too. So it really is worth the money. It's fun, true to the period, and you can't go wrong with a Timex. I call them the Wizards of Waterbury for a reason. They make a lot of really fun, reliable products. I mean, it's a digital watch. It's basically bulletproof, water resistant, I think, to 30 meters, and just fun. If you want to dress up the 1980s, I think you can't go wrong with the Timex T80. Well, that's the Timex T80. Like I said, a very fun little watch. You know, if you want to rock your 1980s style, you can't go wrong with this guy. Really true to the period. Again, it's Timex, so you know it's going to take a licking and keep on ticking, especially since it's a digital watch. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Is it something that you'd like to wear? Something you find interesting? The other thing I wanted to kind of chat about today too, if you guys are interested. I mean, I don't really have a huge subscriber base right now, but I'd be really interested to hear some opinions on this from other watch enthusiasts. I'm kind of interested in taking this whole keyless works concept and turning it kind of into some e-commerce as well. One way we can do this, I was talking with Seiko, actually talking with the Seiko sales representative in Canada, and I kind of found out the pricing and the structure of how watch sales work. And I think it'd be a really easy way for me to get some really, really good deals on some really popular, high-quality watches and sell them at really, really good prices as well online. For instance, Seiko's markup on their Prospect series and their Premier series watches like that is about 50%. So if you're buying your watches online, Seiko actually doesn't let, in Canada at least, I can't speak for the United States or other countries, but in Canada, Seiko doesn't let retailers, online retailers, advertise their watches at a discounted price. So I think that's so they don't cannibalize their dealer network, which is how it's traditionally been sold through jewelry stores. So your best chance at actually getting a really good price on a Seiko watch, at least, is through your local jewelry store if they carry Seiko and if they're a Seiko Elite retailer, which is not a hard status to get, but you do have to go buy quite a bit of watches. And then the magic number is about 36 watches on your first order to qualify as a Seiko Elite retailer. So my question is, if I buy 36, say the brand new Alpinist Seiko watch, which is gorgeous and amazing, would I be able to move these 36 watches online? I mean, I can't advertise them at a lower price, but through YouTube, if I mention that I have 36 Alpinist watches that I'm willing to part with at, say, only 25% markup as opposed to the traditional 50%, which gets you the MSRP, we split the difference. You get an amazing watch at a great price, and I make a little money for the investment trouble because, one, I absolutely love watches and watchmaking. The whole idea behind the keyless works here, the business, the keyless works being part of a mechanical watch, is I just really wanted to share really good, great value watches with everybody, and maybe make a few bucks doing it. Who doesn't want to make a few bucks sharing their passion? So let me know in the comments below. Is this something you'd be interested in? If I get a run of 36 or so really popular, like really in demand watches and offer them at a great price, is this something that would work through like a YouTube concept and my website as well? By the way, the website is still kind of in the works, but it's still up there, so you can go check out thekeylessworks.com. I post links to these YouTube videos, and I think eventually there'll be a blog there as well once I get to it. But again, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let me know in the comments below what you think about my little business proposal, whether it works, whether it's a stupid idea, and what you think of the Timex T80 as well.